welcome you to Kensington Community Church.
The first 10 years of Kensington, certainly for me and I think the original core team, was pure joy. It was a dream come true. And to get into this building towards the end of that was like a stamp of affirmation and credibility for us in this community.
Count of three, ready? 3.
We called that capital campaign Homeward Bound. And then when we walked in this building, cut the ribbon just like you saw, you know, it was just an amazing moment. But over the next couple months, what I felt happening in our congregation was we were home.
That could be the nail in the coffin right there for us if we ever get to a point where we feel like game's over. And so I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this may be the greatest challenge that we've ever had, was to actually have our own building.
And we knew that it was just a launching point for where we were going to go, that we were going to plant here, but we were moving out.
I love it when people come, because I love to see people come, and I love to see people go. I love to see people respond to God's call on their life.
The plan was always to leverage our resources and energy and giftedness to start as many new churches as possible. Every time we stepped out to trust God with a new venture, it cost something. Probably the best example of that for me was the day that Dave Nelson came and told me that he felt God leading him to start a new church in Salt Lake City.
The flame is just getting reignited in our hearts because now we even have more opportunity to reach farther than we ever thought we would when we started the church.
A church plant is simply a new church led by a new leader with a new team of people.
Kensington has been invited by Jesus to go fishing in New York City, in Manhattan, and Chris and I are going to lead the team to go do that.
It costs you because you've got to let people that you love go in order for them to flourish and for the kingdom of God to advance.
When we vision out to the year 2020, we want 80 churches up and running. How many do we have right now? There are 18 churches that are up and running right now because Kensington's come alongside of them and partnered with them.
There's a lot of people in our area that would never step into a church. And that's why we started Paradox. Reach people far from God that otherwise would never go to church. And hundreds of them have been coming through the door since we did. The people that are being reached through Paradox are being reached because of the vision of Kensington.
We have given over $2 million to date to send out church planters. And the question I've been asked many times is, well, don't we need that money for us here? And the answer is, of course, yes and no. The answer is yes, we'll always need that here, but God has challenged us to jump in and then jump out and really be about sending.
And the dream is that you would live by expressing the love of Christ through your life and open-handedness to other people.
There was a church that was starting in Birmingham, and they brought the pastor on stage. It had nothing to do with our church planning. And they said from the stage, if you want to go to that church, we'd be more than happy. We would love nothing more than 50 to 100 or 300 people to go with them.
We've done this over a dozen times now at Kensington. We've asked people to leave and join and be a part of something, and God has done something great every time.
And they got off the stage, and I thought to myself, what church does that? That blew me away, probably more than anything else. The spirit of open-handedness in this place is pretty incredible.
A funny thing happened on the way to starting new churches. We found that every church we started was different than us, which was great. But we loved Kensington, so we said, why don't we start campuses ourselves as new churches?
Good morning and welcome to Adams High School, aka Kensington North.
So we went out and started these campuses, which was our individual effort to plant churches just like Kensington, because a campus is Kensington. And not only does it look like Kensington, it's under Kensington leadership. That's the difference between a campus and a new church. And so we found out we were good at it.
Now, we had heard of some churches doing this on video. We're the idiots that say we want to do this live. We want to do it live everywhere we go, so now we got to double everything.
Immediately I thought of volunteers and the fact that we were short on volunteers as it was, and here they want us to now create a whole new set of teams. People who would get up at 5:30 in the morning, unload trailers. It just seemed impossible.
I remember thinking, wow, this sounds a lot like God to me. I don't think He's ever asked a human being to do something that they could do. It always requires that He is going to have to show up or we're toast.
The beautiful thing about campusing and starting our campuses is that even though we were so big, we were reaching out to the individual, to the person that's in your neighborhood, to the person that's sitting beside you at the football game. And that's still our passion, it's still our goal, it's still what we're really all about.
Campusing has been the thing that's changed all the rules of Kensington. And it really fits in, again, to our core values of loving God and loving others, locking arms with each other in community, and living open-handedly.
God's gonna do something great. I really believe that this may be the best experience of your life. All right, this is East Campus. You guys can head out. Give them a hand, will you? Campusing was unique for us in that God gave us the ability to do something that other people either couldn't do or wouldn't do, which was release leadership to hundreds of other people. You're gonna think, well, I can't be a part of that. Yes, you can, if you're simply willing to be in a love relationship with God, if you're simply willing to lock arms with a few simple people, if you're willing to start opening up your life to somebody else. All right, you guys, give it up for your Birmingham team. Let's go. God bless you.
When we launched the Birmingham campus, the most exciting thing for me was seeing volunteers being able to greet their friends at the front door.
I think the vision was the thing that attracted myself and my wife to Kensington, accepting people wherever they were at, that God still loved them and that God can still use them.
We not only have a vision to reach people here within our communities, but also a vision to reach the world.
Currently, we have two global partners. One is with the POCOT of Northwestern Kenya, and then India with Jaya Sankar and ministry in Eastern Andhra Pradesh.
Julius and Jaya are not only committed to reaching the physical needs of these people, but they're also training pastors, building churches, and reaching them with the love of Christ.
Julius oversees 220 new churches. Jaya mentors and leads 80 guys that are starting new churches or leading churches around Eastern India. Both of them are leading and involved in thousands of people's lives. I mean, there are people who look to them when there's no one else who can give an answer.
Because Jesus loves me, so I have to love my country people with the love of Christ.
Every time I'm with them, it puts in perspective, as great as what is happening here, you realize that God is doing great things everywhere in the world. Because our dream is that you'd answer God's call, and that you'd answer God's call, that you would fully engage with what God made you to be. That's the dream.
When people hear the word Kensington, they might think it's about hundreds and thousands and millions of people, but it's always been about the one. Our mission statement from the beginning has never changed. It's always been to help people who think God is irrelevant, not just to engage with God, but to become a fully devoted follower of Him.
For every single person that comes in these doors, I want them to know that their life was meant to be about so much more. I want them to know that they're way more loved than they ever imagined, that God created them for a purpose greater than they're probably experiencing, and in the midst of it all, that God called them to do it in community with other people on a mission for God, that God was inviting people to an incredible adventure.
My name is Daniel McCarthy. I used to play the piano in bars and clubs. Now I'm leading a band here on the weekends.
Twice a month, I'm in charge of designing our stage lighting, and I had no idea how to do it when I started, and now I really love it.
I led a group of college students on a trip to South Africa. It's amazing how God works in every culture around the world.
I used to never give my time to anybody for free. Now I do security at Treasure Island.
I enjoy working with people, which is why I'm an usher.
It's very much coming out of my comfort zone. I love it.
I'm 10 years old, and I push all the buttons and run all the videos at Birmingham campus, because when I heard that they were opening it up, I decided to step up and do it.
I deliver sandwiches and personal hygiene kits to prostitutes in the city. I now have over 600 women I consider my friends. My name is Donna McCauley.
Robin Potts.
Mark Smith.
My name is Brad Griffin. I'm passionate about using the platform of sports to reach kids and coaches, knowing that they've got an opportunity to impact the world through sports.
Each week I serve on the medical team in our Clinton Township campus. It makes me feel great that I can use my everyday talents and get a sense of purpose. My name is Kyle Rowinski.
I never felt
that I could be used by God. Now I'm helping women that don't have husbands do their work projects around their home.
I started a basketball camp in my community for boys and girls. Currently there are 150 kids that come out every Sunday to not only play basketball, but learn about faith and values.
I used to think I couldn't make a difference. Now I affect people's lives by making videos.
My name is Mike McCormick.
My name is Josh Jopi.
My name is Eric Hernandez. I'm in charge of setting up sound and microphones for Treasure Island at our Birmingham campus.
My 11-year-old son convinced me to get involved, and now I lead video community hospitality at Rochester Hills campus.
This past semester, my friend and I started a group in high school for people that wanted to ask questions about the Bible.
I'm part of a team that started a flag football program for the kids in the Brightmoor community of Detroit. I feel that this is what I was meant to do.
God has given me the opportunity to serve in my sweet spot.
In loving others, I have found my place.
I went through a period where I didn't know what God wanted me to do, and now I think I found it.